non-native species that show up to an area and outcompete all of the native species in the area, which South Florida has hosted tons and tons and tons of those because of the tropical environment that we live in.
Invasive species can pose a huge issue with native wildlife. Everything out there in nature comes down to competition.
Most situations with invasive species, when you talk about what do they do to an ecosystem, you're talking about outcompeting everything else. And what they'll do is they'll completely extirpate all the other species that live there, and the invasive species will be the only ones left.
Any species that isn't from a given region is non-indigenous. And then what we generally use to define native versus non-native is whether the species has been in a given area since glaciation or the last 10,000 years.
Invasives can pose a really big issue because they can come into an area and just exploit the resource, and their numbers can explode very, very quickly, and those resources just get slimmer and slimmer and slimmer until those native species don't have any of those resources around.
To be invasive, a species has to produce an impact. So that can include spreading ability, it can have to do with ecological modifications or having an economic impact.
We are surrounded by invasive species day in, day out down here for sure.